Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining me on another episode of the Estrella Podcast. My name is Danielle Miranda, and before I get started in introducing today's fabulous guest, the time has come. The Estrella platform is now in the beta phase. If you would like to learn more information and hear all the exciting things that are about to happen very soon, please go over to estrellaadvisors.com. Now, for today's guest, I have the absolute pleasure of introducing Brazilian psychic Ranses Valente. Hi, Ranses. How are you?
Oh my gosh, thank you so much, Daniel, for the invitation. I am so excited by being here.
I'm super excited to interview you because you are officially my first guest from South America.
Thank you. And I'm so glad to be, internationally, like you say, being working in United States and around the world and
Yes.
being your platform, being your guest. And I know you're so famous there. And I know that because I've been watching you. So you are very famous.
Well, thank you
Congratulations.
so much. I feel that this is going to be the start to something really beautiful. And I have never hosted before. So I'm the one that's
Ooh.
grateful because all of the guests that have been on this podcast have been incredible. So I'm the one that's humbled that I get the opportunity to
Oh,
interview all of you. So
look at
thank
you.
you. Yeah.
Because when I watch you, I see just a goddess, a diva. Makes sense what I'm saying.
Oh,
It's just that is my perception of you.
you're
So,
so
Daniel, thank you
sweet.
so much for allowing me to be myself.
Oh, no, no worries. Thank you for being a guest. I'm so excited to dive in so that viewers and listeners can learn more about you. May I ask, let's start off
Sure.
with how did you come up with the name Brazilian Psychic?
So that was very interesting. So I have been working in Brazil as a psychic before, and in my main language, people would call me Ranses Valente. Okay, so it's my name, and that was okay. But as I was going to United States, I actually ended up going to a platform that I work, and I work in some platforms there that they don't allow you to use your real name. So then I was like, what can I actually think that was really fast that would connect to me? And I was like, sure, I'm Brazilian and I'm a psychic. So Brazilian psychic. It was really fast, the idea to connect that.
Aw,
You're
yes,
so
yes,
kind. You're so
yes.
generous. Mhm.
So, how long have you gone by the name Brazilian Psychic?
Brazilian psychic has been now 4 years exactly since I've been working, around the world. So people recognize me as Brazilian psychic.
Wonderful. So, if I may ask, Ranses, how has being a psychic in Brazil differed from having clients in the United States or in other parts of the world?
Let me tell you this. Very interesting that you brought this fact. That actually, the same questions that you receive around the world is the same one that you receive here. So basically, everyone is looking for some kind of question for something that they are actually having trouble with, especially when it comes to relationships. So
Mm.
that's why I actually became a relationship specialist because I saw this field being the one that people actually ask the most.
It's interesting you say that, Rances, because as I hear you speak, I have a question to ask. Why do you think that relationships are such a very in-depth area that clients have questions and concerns about? What is it about relationships that people want to inquire about?
Definitely. So I'm going to give an example. Or you gave me goosebumps by asking this question. So it's so interesting that you ask this. The main reason, actually, when you start your journey, let's start like talking about the journey of the psychic. So that by being psychic means that you're very lonely because it's a lonely journey that you have to go within. So people that don't go within, they go out. So what they want to be loved by somebody and approved by somebody. Because remember, when we are kids, we are actually all rejected in our subconscious mind by something or someone. So we are buying, asking these questions. We are asking when my future husband or girlfriend, or if this relationship is going to work or not. We are trying to see if I am worth it. I'm asking if I am loved. The deep question is not that if I'm going to find someone, but if it's like if I'm going to be loved, if I'm worthy of love. So
Mm.
that's the main question that I feel that people actually are asking. And usually the cards show them very clear. Cards,
Oh, I was going to say, so you just mentioned cards. So do you do tarot as well?
I do actually, you do you know, I do tarots, but let me show you my tools. I usually go with oracles, as we say, and I have tons of oracles. I even brought them here to show, because each oracle, they actually is going to talk to a specific part of something that you have to listen. And as I listen my intuition, as someone comes to me, someone or like I hear the voice, go with this deck, because this deck is going to talk to them. So then it goes. But also not just that, I use a lot the dowsings, the dowsing rods.
Oh, wow.
Mhm. So the dowsing rods is very interesting because it's like it connects to the energy of the person, and then you can actually ask questions, yes or no, and it goes really strong. So that's
Wow.
why, because everything is energy. So you're
Yes.
just connecting to energy. Very
So
interesting.
let me ask you this, Ranses. When you're working with a client, is
Mhm.
it a system that you use for every single client, or do you notice that maybe for one client you may use the dowsing rods more than another, or you may use oracle cards on another client and not use them for someone else? Like,
And
how do you
someone,
figure out what system to use?
very interesting question. Thank you so much, Daniel, again. So I feel by the client, example, when they are talking to me, I hear a voice. That's my psychic ability. Oh, they need to see actually cards because this person is more visual. So they need to see to believe. Oh, that person needs to hear. Oh, that person believes in energy. So that when it comes my psychic ability,
Mm.
I didn't actually, I don't need any of those tools. I am a psychic, so I actually can connect. I don't see example. I am not a medium that I connected to dead people, but I'm a
Mm.
psychic that connect to people that are here, and through them I connect to the people around them. So I can connect through situations. I can
Mm.
walk and perform and see what's going to happen, but as a medium, I was little, I'm going to be very clear here. When I was a child, I was being prepared. I was 6 years old to be a medium. By 6 years old, you are afraid of developing that. So I remember that I stopped because my father was preparing me to be a full mediumship, and that was scaring me. Mhm.
Mm. So it's interesting that you just said that. So my next question is, Ranses,
Mhm.
you were raised in a family where your father was a psychic and a psychic medium as well, or
So
did he just see that you had the gifts and wanted to help you develop them?
Oh, I love that question again. So it's very interesting. So by being Brazilian, I want to people to understand, especially the guests that are watching, the TV show, the podcast, that Brazilians are very mixed. Our inheritance, like the way we are mixed with everybody in the world. So example, from my mother's side, my mom is psychic. She is very intuitive, but this is her because we were raised by being Christians from my mother's
Mhm.
side. From my father's side, we were raised in an Afro because we are mixed. So I have native roots. I have like black roots in my region. I have Afro descendants in my blood too. So I have everything. So from
Wow.
my father's side, it was Santeria. So that's what he was taking me. So I was going on Fridays in Santeria. That was so funny by being a kid. So, and I was seeing my father receiving, like literally being possessed by spirits. And then I would go to church on Sundays to the
Wow.
medical school. So I was just like in love with both of them.
Very interesting as a child that you got exposed to both sides.
Yeah.
Did that
And I
at
forgot
any
to mention, sorry, Daniel, to
Oh
cut you,
no, you're
but
fine.
it's from my father's generations that comes the Afro, Santeria. So all of them, my grandmother, my great grandmother, my grandfather, my great grandfather, they used to run the Santerias here back then. So it comes from him. Mhm.
Wow, so this is truly generational for you.
It is.
That is
Mhm.
incredible.
Yes.
For those that are watching and listening on this episode, Ranses, could you explain what is a Santeria for those who do not know?
Okay, so I'm going to explain on the idea that the way it is here in Brazil. Okay, so a Santeria is a place that they go and they are dressed. They have specific names here. That's why I have to say something in Portuguese that I'm going to try to explain. So here they call baianas. Baianas are women dressed in white dress. And baianas, it's because they are from Bahia. It's a state that
Wow.
received the most Afro-American people in the beginning of the transition here, when the slaves back then were coming here, that everybody was getting mixed, because we are very mixed race. So I love that, because we don't have, how do we say, we don't have like any kind of difficult with these things. We are one. Make sense? The
Yes.
way we
Yes, it does.
so then my father came from, it's called caboclos, because there's no translation to. It's the origin of the color of the skin that was between black and native people. So it's kind of reddish color. So then it changes everything. So then this origin starts to change. So they light candles. There are a lot of smoke. So it's very religious, looks like Catholic, but it takes you to this mystical realm where they drink alcohol and they smoke and the spirit come and talks to you. So it's very interesting. A lot of music, a lot of drums, and so they get possessed. That's the idea. Mhm.
Mm. As a child, Ranses, did that ever confuse you going to a Santeria and then come Sunday or a couple of days later having to go to a Christian church? How did that impact you spiritually?
Was so weird because it was like this. I would see that everything that the Christians would say bad was about the Santeria. And the Santeria wouldn't agree at all with the Christianity. So I was in between. I was a child that was always in between, because I
Mm.
didn't have the free will to say, hey, I want to go or I don't. I just had to go. I was a child. But in the end, it was good for me because I start to pay attention that, oh, there's no religion. It's not the religion that is going to save you. It's your faith and your spiritual journey that is going to take you to whoever you want to go.
Mm.
So it's
Yes.
not the place that you go. It's not the brand. It's your spiritual self journey that is going to
Yes.
take you
That
somewhere.
is so true. That is so true and so well said.
Yeah.
I have another question to ask, Ranses. So, in your opinion,
Sure.
do you feel that something that's more spiritual like Santeria is also the same as religion? Are they the same to you or are they different? And
For
why?
me, is the same. That's what I'm saying. Because they have the openings, they have the same way they actually do the consecrations. They have to do some in order to sound like a religion. So everything is made in a way that you go to church. So especially in the beginning, you have like music in church, music in Santeria. You would have them warming up, to receive the spirits, and you had the prophets going to speak in the Christian church.
Mm.
So, and then someone would start giving the word on Christian church, and then someone would give the word to on the Santeria. So basically, if you start to see all of them, they are common. All of them, they have
Mm,
the same structure. And it can be Muslims, it can be any religion. They are all loved, they are all one, and they are all true. It's if you believe, it's your true. So it's true for everyone. Mhm.
mm. So well said. That's been something that I've been really trying to discover myself as I
Wow.
journey on my spiritual journey is really trying to figure out, is spirituality and religion one and the same? And what I'm coming to find is that it is the same.
Mhm.
It might,
Yeah,
different terms might be used, different meanings might be used, but ultimately the end goal is the same. What people are striving for and wanting is ultimately the same thing.
exactly. It doesn't matter where you go. What you're looking for is like you want to have a spiritual connection to whatever name you give to the universe, to the saint you believe, to the thing, but you want to have a real deep connection. And that's why when I say, people ask me, oh, are you Christian or are you Centurion nowadays? I'm nothing. I don't go anywhere. And I love everything. If you show me a book about Judaism, I'm going to love. If you're going to talk about anything that is very different, I'm going to love
Mhm.
because I love learning and I respect every single person as they are. So,
Mhm.
example, as a reader, we have Indians with their own cultures. As a reader, you have people that it's coming from around the world, China that speak English, Asians, they have their own culture. So as you respect and you love them, they feel loved, and
Mhm.
that's what they understand. It's like a spiritual connection.
You are bringing up such valid points, because what we all seem to forget sometimes, and maybe not all of us, maybe it's just a portion of us,
Mhm.
is that at the end of the day, when you learn to be open to loving people for where they are in their own journey, what you are now doing is you are now opening up your consciousness to receive more downloads and information of truth and enlightenment.
Yeah.
So when you close yourself off and you're like, this is the way and that's just what it is, I
Mhm.
believe you have now cut yourself off from evolving and learning. But when you have an
Exactly.
open mind, you may not agree with it, but you're open minded to hearing and learning about it. Then
Mhm.
that is expanding your consciousness. And that is ultimately, Ramses, what we're here to do, just like you said, is to
Yes,
expand our consciousness. So that is so
exactly.
well said.
Wow, that was well said. It's like someone that is already on the journey of already understanding that it's not the flag. It's
Yes.
not the flag it holds, it's what the container holds, the shell
Yes.
holds. So that's what it's ultimate, what we're looking for this ultimate connection, for what? With the universe, with whatever you give the name, like I said. But you want not to feel what? Fear. You don't want to feel what the ego gives to you. That's why people come here, because they don't want to feel any more agony,
Mm,
fear, despair. They don't want to be, actually afraid of what's going to happen tomorrow. Am I going to
yes.
have money? Am I going to be alone? Am I going to die alone? No. The spirit already came here with a purpose. So there's a purpose for everyone. And we, because, the way we're raised by going to churches, the truth was actually took from us. And as we open ourselves to listen, everybody, and not judge, but just listen, you
Mhm.
can take some points here that you say, you know what, that was very interesting, well said. And you can
Yes.
take another thing here from other people. So you can see that then you start your spiritual journey. That is the true thing.
Hmm. Very well said. And as a matter of fact, you bring up another brilliant point. I was speaking to a colleague the other day,
Oh,
and we were talking about the very thing you said. And ultimately, what's really important is that you have to be okay with not being okay sometimes. And with that being said, when you're able to understand that not everything is going to happen on your time, because I believe the big problem with the world and
exactly.
why psychics like yourself get all of these clients that are so under stress and want these immediate answers is because we are living in an instant gratifying society. We want
Exactly.
things and we want it right now. I want the
Mhm.
girl, I want the guy, I want the millions, I want the house, I want all of it right now.
Mhm.
But you have to learn that, like you just said, we are all here with a purpose. We are
Exactly.
all here with our own journeys. And sometimes it doesn't look like what we think it's going to look like. That does not mean A, that it won't happen. And B, what it also means is that you have to be patient.
Mhm. You
You have to
said
be patient.
everything with the word
Mhm.
patience, because it's like this. We were raised in a society that train us not to be patient,
Mhm.
because think about, since you're a child, you're loaded, and you
Mhm.
have to learn, you have to go to school, you have to do this, you have to be the best, you have to compete, you have to get the best salary, you have to get the best job, you have to do this. So everything is about now.
Mhm.
It's like now. So we are in the now society for a long time. So
Yes.
as we are in this now society for a long time, our brains were developed on the now system that I call. And the now system is like, I want things my way now. And when this doesn't happen, what happens to you? You fall like, a free fall to the ground. And
Yes.
then you have to pick up yourself up, the rest, the leftovers that you
Yes.
got it, and you have to start all over again, because we think that we are in control. I'm not even in control of the day that I'm going to leave this shell, this body. So
Mhm.
when I understand that, I start to enjoy my present.
Mm.
Start to live on the present, because the only thing that have now, it's like you and I. This is the only moment. This is true. It's
Yes.
happening.
Yes.
But if
Absolutely.
you are thinking on the future, you create anxiety. If you're going to the past, you create melancholy. So you're going to be melancholic for the rest of your life, or anxious. So you're
Right.
never going to find balance. Mhm.
So well said. And bringing up balance brings up another valid point. I think a lot of, for the viewers and listeners who are watching this episode, Ranses, I think we have gotten confused as a society with thinking that balance means 50-50. But I believe that that balance is not about 50-50. Balance is about what is equal for you in your life.
Exactly.
That balance may be 60-40. It may be 80-20. It doesn't matter, but
It
it
doesn't.
has to fit your lifestyle.
Exactly. If you do a yin yang, if you go and do astrology, an example, and if you pull up how much earth, how much water, how much this, how much that, that's your balance. So you're going to see statistically now, for people that actually are saying, oh, no, no, I'm talking about science now. If you take astrology, that is considered a science, and put it out, and you see the yin yang is going to be unbalanced, you're going to see that you have or more earth, or more water, or more air. So that's the balance that you received to work on this planet. So,
Mm,
example, it's going to diverge from what people, that's why we're so special and unique. We have logical people, we have emotional people, we have people here that are mixed. We have everything, because that's the way the universe was made. Everyone is experiencing a story that it only belongs to them,
mm,
me
well
and you.
said.
Mhm,
Absolutely. Kind of shifting gears a little bit. And
mhm.
some of my guests know this about me. People that know me know this. I love culture and I love accents.
Oh,
I'm hearing your beautiful accent.
thank
And my question to
you.
you, Ranses, is knowing that you have English speaking clients, have you
Mhm.
always known English or did you have to teach yourself the English language?
Oh my gosh, that was such a beautiful question. So when it was 2004, I moved to United States to a program called Work and Study. So I actually went with zero English there. I moved with no English at all. And I was 24, yes, 24 years old. And that was so shocking for me. And I was like, oh my gosh, I am like, I was so lost. Kids were coming to ask me for things, and I was like, So I remember 2 years, let's pass 2 years like that, and I was self-taught. So I remember by 10 years being there, I was like, okay, I can talk, I can speak. Not like you natives, because it's like it's the first language.
Mhm.
So I see that. And by being Brazil, by being here back, it's been 7 years now, six years now. It's like this. I speak Portuguese on the street, and then I have my clients in English. So for me, it's like, oh, I'm studying and practicing English simultaneously.
Mhm.
So it's a good environment. So it was because I went there. So I lived there for a while. Mhm.
What was the number one modality that you used to help you with English? Because you said you were self-taught. So did you watch movies? What did
You're
you
gonna
do?
laugh. Uh-huh. And people were actually they were scared by me on the because Brazilians are very warm. I saw that, like you look for me like a Brazilian,
Oh,
like you have the beautiful smile. I've watched your podcasts. If you were here, you would actually find yourself like completely fine. But there, people don't allow you to touch them so much, so you cannot invade their space. So for me, I had to read their lips. Instead of focusing on the eyes, I was going to focus on their lips. And then I heard so much like this. What are you looking at? What are you looking at? And I was like, oh, until I understand what you're looking at means, because they were speaking so fast, I was being rude. And I didn't know that looking the lips for me was the only way to learn English, because the sound, because yeah, like you
uh-huh.
project, your voice. I can understand, but nowadays I can understand the people on the phone like normally. But back then I had to read lips to see if I could actually move similarly or to create the sound they were doing. It was very difficult. So by being self-taught, it means you have to find ways, mechanisms like a child would do. So that's what I did. It worked pretty well. And then movies, and then going to the movie theaters with no subtitles was like, what's going on? That's pretty much it.
That's impressive, Ramsey. So
Thank
you were able to read
you,
people's
Daniel.
lips in order to understand the English language. That is very
Yeah.
impressive.
It is, because I was like, it's very interesting now that you're able to speak the two of them. So, and you don't translate anymore. So that's what I have to say. So you think in English. So
Yes.
if I listen to Portuguese, I will reply in Portuguese. But if I am speaking to you, I'm thinking your language right now. So I don't have to be giving pauses,
Yes.
longer pauses. Sometimes I won't understand a word here and there. It's normal, but you
Mhm.
understand the context. So mhm.
Yes. So, as a psychic, Ramses, what do you
Okay.
find is the most rewarding part of what you do when working with your clients?
Wow. Let's go, because the rewarding is very interesting, because you brought this good things first, because I love the good things. The rewarding is when you actually listen that your clients, they come to you broken, they listen what they have to say, and then they come back saying to you everything you said just happened. But then I say, don't thank me. Thank the guides that come to me, because you have nothing to say to me. I'm just an instrument. I keep saying to people, don't look at me like I am the one, or I am doing something. No, I was chosen to do the connection. And we don't choose that. They chose before we came here. So I just do, and I say to them, just be thankful for the angels. I love angels, so I really work with angels. And I keep saying, just thank the angels, the beautiful guides that came here and gave you the message, because it was not me, and
Mm,
it's not me. Mm-mm. I'm
I
just
love
a
that.
member. Mhm. And the
That's
reward thing is like to see them healing, getting the things they want because the word came, giving them warmth, giving them hope, open their eyes for something that it's happening they're not seeing. So that is the rewarding part of
mm,
by this gift. I say, I saw as a curse when I was a child. That's why. Nowadays, I can say that it's by this gift. Mhm.
That is really beautiful to hear you say that. And as a matter of fact, I personally love when I hear somebody in the spiritual realm that does this work with
Mhm.
their clients and for a living. I love when you all express humility and gratitude because I think at the
Oh,
end of the day, that is important, right? Even though
exactly.
you guys have all activated your gifts
Mhm.
and you're using them for the greater good
Yeah,
in this world,
but
I
it's
think
not
it's important
ours. It's
that we
just,
should still,
yeah.
that you guys all should still have humility and gratitude. So that was beautiful to hear you say that.
Thank you. If you lose humility and if you lose gratitude, they take your gift away.
Oh,
Because they know your ego is going to start to take over, and then you're going to start to feel that you are the star. You're not a star. You're just an
huh.
instrument as everyone could be a psychic. But some people actually they are more logical. Some people they can listen more, and some people like you. I can definitely see that you are a psychic. You definitely can. I know that by just talking to you, and I know that you are a psychic. But you probably, like I am seeing that in your childhood, you didn't have the opportunities that I had.
Mhm.
That's what I'm saying, to develop, to work on your spirituality, in your spiritual realm.
Yes,
Makes sense? That's
it's
the only
interesting.
difference.
It's interesting that you say that, Ramses, because I've always been very intuitive. I've always known I was different, but it wasn't until recent, and I mean recent as in the last 5 years, that I've recognized that I have the gifts. Maybe not as profound as others,
Mhm.
but I'm extremely empathic and I'm extremely
Oh,
intuitive.
absolutely.
So I can pick up on energies pretty quickly. I can read people pretty quickly. A lot
Hmm.
of times I'm very quiet about it though.
Hmm.
And yeah, so to hear you say that, it's validating. And I appreciate that so much.
Absolutely. And I have to say, because they told me, and also you have to know one thing like this. Why do you think you were working the spiritual development? Why do you think you're a host of a TV show or a podcast that it's specific for the niche of, psychics, tarot readers? Why you were here? Do you think you chose this or they chose you?
Well, I definitely didn't choose it, at least not consciously. Like,
No, not
I don't,
consciously.
yeah.
The universe already prepared you to be here because
Yes.
that was your mission. And probably you were lost in so many thoughts before you even realized that you're a psychic.
Yes, that's very true. All very
Hmm.
true. And I'll tell you, and I told a previous guest this, I told him this in his group.
Wow.
It has become so liberating to be able to finally say, I have these gifts and to
Yes.
not feel ashamed. Because what a lot of society makes spiritual people feel at times is shame and
Hmm.
guilt that they have abilities and that it's the devil or it's
Exactly.
witchcraft or corruption or any
Hmm.
of this stuff. And so I am finally able to confidently be like, yes, I am intuitive, I am empathic, and I do want to hone in on my gifts more, and I love being connected to people that are doing the same thing. And it's liberating for me. It's freeing. And I'm sure that you can relate to that it's freeing to be open as a psychic and to be able to
It
say, this is what I
took
do.
me so long to be free because, the judgments from being, first, the son of Santeria man and a Christian woman. So I would go, and the stigma of being gay. So I would have all the stigmas on the universe. People were destroying me. But that actually made the person that I am today.
Mm,
Because if I didn't go to all the pain that I had to go, if I didn't go for the spiritual pain that was to go to places to try to find myself and try to fit, and I see that I don't fit in anywhere, that I am just a spiritual person, that was the answer. Bingo. You don't need to fit to make anyone happy. You are already happy because you are gifted.
mhm,
So you
mhm,
don't try to fit.
mhm.
You have to be the one that actually help the others understand that they are loved just by who they are.
Yes. Yes.
Hmm.
So well said. So let me ask you this, Ramses.
Sure.
Do you see yourself doing anything outside of psychic readings? Is there anything else in the spiritual realm that you would like to tap into and bring to your clients?
I am studying now. Very interesting that you said that. Um, how do you know how do you call the reading? Palm reading.
Palm readings?
Palm
Yes.
readings. It's something that I'm getting to learn now, the lines and everything. And also a new thing, it's like face reading. Have you heard
Really?
about this?
I have
Yes.
never heard about
Yeah.
that.
So face reading, it's like this. This is for me, it's beginning to be the ultimate thing. By the face, you can recognize everything about a person by the traits, by the way they are, the structure of the bones, by the lines, by everything that is made. Even though people use Botox or fillers, it's not going to hide what is behind the mask. So the mask that even God gave to us, there's a reason why, and it shows what type of person you are. So
Wow.
this is something that I'm going to start bringing to my clients because it demands more from me. Makes sense? It demands more
Wow.
time to study the face. Mhm.
Interesting. What made you want to get into that? That's
It's
very new.
yeah,
Wow.
because it's like this. My motivations in life was always like love and respect people because I wasn't. Make sense? So I
Yes.
was like, I want to just be loved and respect people because I was never loved in my mind. That was the way I was thinking back there. And I was never respected because I was this and that. So I start to understand body language. So I was reading body language. So I studied body language to understand people's reaction. If I was making something wrong or making them feel uncomfortable. And then came the face just now recently, to me, and I start to study this, and it's something that Chinese has been doing for more than 6,000 years old. And
Wow.
then it's a study that Egyptians been doing more than 6,000 years old. So you start to understand that everything that we think is new, it's old, it's
Mm,
ancient. But the way I'm approaching is a little different because I have this voice telling me, ooh, this line means this, or that line means because the person is this or that. So you see on the face, and you can actually open the spirituality in this realm.
wow. That is incredible. That
Yes.
I've never heard of that. I'm actually
Yeah.
excited to see what comes of that for you.
Yes. And I can definitely see that by doing face, you can see even the compatibility of a couple by their faces. If
Huh.
it's going, yes, you can see everything, especially, if you have the picture of both of them and compare, it's going to talk. And there's like a conversation happening there. So that is very interesting. This is going to change and revolutionize the world of readings because most
Absolutely.
people, they don't go through this different styles, and I do different things. Mhm.
Right. Right. That is wonderful. So, kind of turning the wheel a little bit,
Let's do it.
what do you find is the negative part of being a psychic and doing the work that you do for your clients?
Yes. So my title, it's called, since I was a child, I know I was the type of healer. So this is the one that I am. And I am a sponge. So example, I, instead of absorb and get out of my body, I absorb literally. Makes
Mm,
sense? And
yes.
then all the negativeness that comes from a person, I ended up sucking up this energy, like swallowing,
Mm,
And so as I am going towards the day and I'm doing this, I feel extremely exhausted. But in the past, I used to have clear visions of spirits walking my house. And that's why I thought I was cursed, because I was going to talk to dead people. I
hmm.
was developing mediumship as a child, and I was sitting on my bed. Kids would see too, and I was like, why are you going to sleep with me? I would feel hands. I would see things. Like I would go to the graveyard and see more people than actually other people would see. So because I was being developed, so I had to go to a tribe, an Indian tribe, here in Brazil that they did a work on me to send, they call the send the spirits away. So the
Mm,
mediumship side they closed, but the psychic ability they said it's a name we can't. That's what you have to pass in yours in this lifetime. So that's
right.
why I said from the pain of being scared by the spirits, now I could hear voices only, but not scary ones anymore,
Yes.
just good ones like, oh, okay. And I selected. But the only downside is still that some days I pick up more energy. Mhm.
Hmm. Very neat. Kind of going on the lighthearted side and
Mhm.
asking you this question, besides being a psychic, what other talents or activities or hobbies do you have?
Oh my gosh. So my first thing in life was to sing. So as a professional singer, Daniel, yes. So I was a professional singer. I started with 9 years old in a professional band. It was a kids band. And then with 18, I was an opera singer. And I was
Wow.
pursuing this dream until I went to America's Got Talent in 2010
You were
in
on
United.
America's Got Talent?
I was. I did the
Oh,
opening there in America's Got Talent 2010, and they mocked me. Literally, the entire the judges, all the judges, they were using me as the mocking one, and I didn't understand that at the time because my English was not good at that time, and to pick up the little lines here and there. But they have a script of who's going to win or not. So then I stopped singing, self sabotage. Now I'm returning to sing again because I'm having my classes because my soul needs that to live.
oh, that is wonderful that you
Yeah,
sing. Do you think that you'll ever go back to opera singing?
absolutely. I'm going to sing opera now, and I'm learning other styles of songs like jazz and blues and other things to also put on my, repertoire.
That is wonderful. Do you ever see yourself, Ramses, coming back to the United States and living and maybe
It's
making a
one,
career over here?
absolutely. It's one of my dreams. It's like this. I love this country. I love, people can say whatever, but I have my opinion. You know what I'm saying? I love this country. I think for me was like this. By being there, I felt a sense of freedom that I couldn't feel in any other place. Make sense? So
Yes, it
it's
does.
me. People, that's what I'm saying. Don't try to judge my thing because it's my thought. So
Right.
for me, by being there, it's like I feel free. I walk on the streets really proud. And I'm proud to say, that United States is a wonderful place to live. I'm really proud to say. And I'm proud, I have this proudness. It's like my heart has two flags, the Brazilian one and the American one. They pop up like literally simultaneously.
Aw.
Oh,
Ramses, as we near the end of this
oh, it was
amazing
so
episode,
fast, by the way.
no, it was very fast.
Thank you, Daniel.
As we near the end of this episode, for any of the viewers and listeners who are watching this episode that are like, I have to get a reading with Ranses, I have to work with him. Do you have any social media, websites, or any other means that people can get a hold of you?
Okay, nowadays I have like this. I'm on Rances. People can find me on Ranses Valente, but I only have in Portuguese so far because I was working, only here, and I never worked my social media in the United States. I never did that. Okay, because I'm working platforms, but people can actually reach me, and or they can actually reach me to Instagram, Rances Valente, the way it's written there, and also um, how soon I am so excited. Yes, because Estrella,
Yes.
as we were talking, it's an app. And I sign up, guys. I'm so happy. So I sign up to be one advisor. So if they are patient enough, they can actually see me on the app, Estrella app. So that is going to mean the world for me.
That is
Mhm.
wonderful. I'm sure you're going to
Prepare
have
the
plenty
place.
of
Yeah.
viewers and listeners are going to be really interested and excited to get a reading with you.
Oh my gosh. You were
Thank you
fabulous.
so
Thank you,
much
Daniel. You're
for being a
so
guest today. And thank you to all the viewers and listeners for watching another episode of the Estrella Podcast. My name is Danielle Miranda. And don't forget, if you would like to learn more about the Estrella platform that is now in the beta phase, please go over to estrellaadvisors.com. Thank you so much, Ranses. It was a
thank
pleasure
you
having
so
you as a
much.
guest.
And thank you all the guests that will come here. And thank you for the audience that is going to watch. I know you're going to love this. I hope that you give some likes and subscribe to this beautiful channel.
have, have a great day.
You too. Bye.